Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiff with Journal with Tiff, and today I'm going to be going over my currently inked for the month of January 2024. Also, before we get there, I did want to show you my newest journal. Let's get this out the way. It's my new ink journal. Before last year, I was using this in a B6. This is a Chic Sparrow. This is the Scout. And basically the Chic Sparrow Scout on the outside is Maverick leather, which is quite thick. And on the inside, it's their really luscious cream leather. And it's, of course, it's in the dark brown. And I was using the Galen Leather Tomoe River notebook. And as you can see, I've only used like half of this notebook right there. I love how the pages get crinkly when you use them. But I realized, and we're kind of sort of doing a little flip through of both at the same time, but I realized that B6 is just a little restrictive and I wasn't really feeling the size. So, but this is how it all started. So initially I started just documenting the inks that I had, and I was trying to put like colors together, but then you kind of get colors that were just kind of weird. That like, is this brown, is this pink, is this green? And it's kind of hard to tell. So I finally got away from keeping the colors together in the book, in the journal. So I just went ahead and just started documenting colors as I got them. Really enjoyed it, but as you'll come to see, I wasn't really consistent in how I was documenting things, which is okay. I know I've looked at some people's reviews or videos and they document the exact same way every time, which is cool. And I kind of would love to get to that point, but I also enjoyed the journey of just trying different things, not just different pens and inks, but different ways of documenting, if that makes sense. Like right here, I just wrote down from my July currently inked this year, which is when I think I started this a little before July, but I did not start doing currently inked until July. And I basically just wrote down tiny, tiny swatches. I don't even think this was a video. I did not record this at all, I don't believe. And it just kind of went to the next page. I had 10 pens inked at the time. And then I would also document if I had a new pen day and the ink that was in that particular pen. And I really love this. I call this like a splash page, where I would just do a huge ink splash and my thoughts on the ink and a little doodling. And yeah, I really, really like that. I thought it was cool, but you can only do that for like an ink at a time. You can't do a bunch of them. I guess I could, but it would just take up too many pages, unless that is the goal of the journal. And this was my July progress report, where I literally put my thoughts on all of my pens in one paragraph. I wasn't very detailed at the time. My purchases that month, and here we see, I remember this is the Wearingill White Rabbit, and I purchased this at a pen show. So I just came and swatched it, another splash page here. So yeah, I was kind of enjoying trying to figure out my system and how I wanted to keep things. Here is my August currently inked, and I kept this page blank so that this was on, I filled it out August 10th, and I came back, it was actually September 5th that I gave my thoughts on my inks from August. Another ink splash page and another. So yeah, that was, I just felt like that was kind of cool. And at the time I was doing it, if I got a new ink in the mail or something, then I would just do a splash page just to call out that ink and look at, look at this one. This is the Ferris Wheel Press Majestic Maple Syrup, and it was just so nice, but it's one of those inks that I really enjoyed looking at it more than I enjoyed writing with it because it was so light. Here's where I got a new pen. This was my Just Turnings by Toronto Pen Co. blank. And I put the Ferris Wheel Press Sparkling Champagne, another beautiful ink in that. So yeah. Oh, here I got my Kakamori brass nib dip pen, and I was just playing with it, and I was really feeling it. Here is my September, currently inked, and on the opposite page, I saved this page where I came back on October 3rd and gave my reviews for the pens I had inked in September. Here's where I kind of just took stock. I took inventory of the pens that I purchased in the month of September. Looks like I purchased 4. I was gifted 4 inks, 1 bottle and 3 samples with a little swatch here. I just thought that was cool, and you're going to see what I take from this going forward in 2024. Here is where I got one of my new SDs, wanting to try that out. Here I got a new Sailor, and I'm just basically doodling and writing and looking at different inks and how it writes in it. I just got the Palette Roshizuku Tsukushi here and wanted to try that out. And this is right here is why I love this ink, because I'm not sure, can I pick it up? There, you see the green in the middle, the green sheen, and it looks kind of purpley brown and then reddish brown around the edges. If you use a wide enough nib, a big enough nib, then you will be able to see all of that, and it's just beautiful. Just love that ink. Here is when I first got this stamp, and I think I had already inked these pens, and I just was playing around with this stamp here, and I just really got into that. I had my wish list at the moment. So as you can see, this is just a personal journal for me. This is not something that at the time that I thought I would even want to do a flip through of. It was just something that I did for enjoyment, to be able to look at my inks. Here was my currently inked for October. I don't know if I came back. Actually, this is where I did it twice. I remember doing it twice. I did it once, did not like it, and came back and did it again with the actual ink stamp. And I really like that. By the way, this stamp is from Yoseka, and it is basically the image of the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, or something to that effect. So definitely, I like that, and I just like the look of it. Not saying that I will always use this for my currently inks, but right now, that's what I'm doing. This was my autumn favorite inks, and I got the inspiration for this from my wreath on my door from Home Goods. I think I got this wreath from Home Goods, and autumn's my favorite season. I was getting ready to say holiday. And I just love the color, so I was like, ooh, I can really pull inspiration for my autumn favorite inks from my wreath. And I had a good time picking out inks for that. This is where I got the Ferris Wheel brush pen. I was so excited about it, and as soon as I got it and started writing with it, I knew something was awry. I knew that pen probably was not going to work for me, but we tried it. Here's where I got another new pen, another new stamp, and it was just kind of testing and playing around with it. This was my October inks and review, and my November currently ink. So I did stick with utilizing the stamp. I did enjoy that. Here's just some documentation where, let's see, where I would basically change the nib or change ink in a pen midway through the month and kind of give my own notes to myself. Okay, this is where I was trying to find a dupe for Inaho. So I was just trying all kinds of different inks. And I do tend to, you make enough mistakes, you're going to start skipping some pages. Another new pen that I just wanted to test out and play with. Here's where I was trying to find a Sakushi dupe, which I did pretty much. To me, it looks like a dupe. Without the sheen, we have the octopus brown penguin, so I felt accomplished with that. And then was my December currently inked. And yeah, that was just last month. Enjoyed doing it. And before the end of the month, I did the purple ink vent. I did not do them day by day. I did them a week at a time, kind of sort of a week, days 1 through 8. So days 1 through 8, and I think I would do them on day 9. I would video and post my video on day 9. I want to say my favorite color, if I've not already gone through this on week 1, was Masquerade. It was such a pretty dusty pink, which is a little bit of gold shimmer to it. Very nice. My least favorite was Sweet Dreams. It was a scented ink, and as you can see, it just was too wet and not enjoyable at all. Week 2, days 9 through 16. Really liked all the inks here. I want to say my favorite was probably either Velvet Emerald or By Humbug for that week. And the last week, days 17 through 24, definitely did not like Cinnabon. It was a very wet scented ink. And I think it came down to probably between Fireside Snug and Sugar Snap. The more I wrote with Sugar Snap, the more I liked it. And then there's the final day, 25, which was Razor Glass, a beautiful, beautiful royal purple with gold sheen and just a little bit of shimmer. And that was the end of the month. So yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted another Chic Sparrow cover, and this is from their Odyssey line, and I want to say this is Siren, and it basically came with ink splotches. I bought this secondhand off of the Facebook buy sell trade page, and it came already embossed. Welcome to our beautiful chaos. So I'm sure if anyone's watching, this may have been your notebook. And this year, instead of using the Galen Leather Blank Tomoe River Page notebook, I decided to use the Hobonichi. Let's see. I just like this. I got to figure out how to. I just have this card stock that was laminated that I put on top. I'll go ahead and put this to the side. I decided to use the Day Free Hobonichi Techo. And how am I using it? So, first thing that I've decided to do is to kind of keep an inventory of my pens and inks. So right here for the beginning of the year, beginning of January, I have 35 pens, 52 ink samples, 23 bottles, and then I have small bottles. I have 24 small bottles. And those are bottles like, those are the bottles that came in the ink vent calendar. And I'm running out of space, and it's easier to keep the ink that come in the small bottles in sample vials. So I'm gonna move all of the ink from my small bottles into sample vials, and I can store them easier in my sample file holder. And at the end of every month, I'm going to update however many pens I have, samples, and bottles. And I'll do that throughout the year. Here I just have some little, they're not Post-its, they're just little circular chocolate brown stickers that I ordered from Cloth and Paper. Page Flags, that's it. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the name. And I just have a little label maker, and this is gonna be what I call my stats section. So for the beginning and ending of every month, I can see the change in my pen and ink inventory. And we'll do that throughout the year. Then my orders, this is December. I've already got an order for January. We won't look at that because that might be a little video coming in the near future. Just like here, I've already ordered one here and I just covered that up. So we don't look at that yet, but I'll document, you know, when something was ordered, when it was delivered, just so that I can keep up with it. The other thing before I get too far is in the very back is a favorites page. I'm not exactly sure how this was meant to be used, but I have accounts at a lot of different sites. Say Pen Realm, I have an account for the Pen Realm site. Pensacci, I have an account because they collect points. So to remember my username, password, or anything that I need to know for those, I have it covered up, but I will keep that information here. Now, also what I did was I went ahead and took an inventory of all of my current inventory, my current inks that I have starting the year off. And I will admit that I recorded this video. I was like, hey, come swatch some inks with me. And it got deleted. I was just, when I say I was upset, I was upset. But, you know, things happen, so I had to get over myself. But yeah, so my current ink inventory, and I did skip pages. I will just glue these together. But I did not want the colors to bleed through and affect the next page. I don't honestly think I have that many inks compared to, ooh, look at that. I have a couple of oopsies in here compared to a lot of people. So I think it's enough for me. I definitely am looking forward to seeing my my inks grow, my collection grow along with my pens. I'm really excited about that. So yeah. So as you can see, another accident there. And the last thing that I was documenting was everything again from the ink bank calendar. Yeah, all of these were from the calendar. So that was that. And now here we are with January's currently inked. So technically I think this could have been 2 videos, but everything just kind of flowed together. So I thought, just why not, we'll just do this all at once. I'm gonna hold this down with my Traveler's Notebook clip. And let's get started. So this month I have 7 pens inked, and you're gonna see kind of a theme. You're gonna see a theme of brown inks, brown pens, which is why I chose the sticker here. I am still using my Yoseka stamp as I did before. I've already got that prepped and primed and ready to go. The first pen is my Esterbrook Esty Tortoise. This is a medium nib, and I have this inked with Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour. I'm going to be doing my swatches with my Kakamori nib dip pen, and let me tell you guys, I've been having some issues with this dip pen, and I'm like, is it just me? I wasn't sure what the deal was, but I was trying to write, you know, with the thinner end of the nib, and it just wasn't working. Nothing was working. Nothing was coming out. It was really, really weird. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. So if anyone else has had any experience with their nib not working appropriately, please let me know. So this is the Esterbrook. And this is the Esty Tortoise, the medium nib. And I have this inked with Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour. I initially wasn't a big fan of this ink. Let me go ahead and say that. So this is like my second time trying it out. I kind of thought it was a little too light, but then I said, let me try it in a wetter nib. And so that's why I chose this particular pen. So Esterbrook SD Tortoise, medium nib with Ferris wheel press oyster hour. Next is my Ferris wheel press Eco. This is in the cream with rose gold. I just got this one last month, and this is inked with Diamine Dusted Truffle, and it is, as you can see, there's shimmer in there, so we'll definitely need to agitate that. Sorry, couldn't find the ink for a second there. Let's give this a good shake so that we can pick up the shimmer. Dusted Truffle is a very nice brown with like silver shimmer. Hopefully it will show up. So we're going to give a good spin to this. This is the TWSBI Eco. I can't write today. Creme. And this is in a fine nib. And this is inked with Diamine Dusted Truffle. I'm going to admit that initially, I don't know if I was very much a fan. Sorry if you can hear my dog, Kobe, just came in the room. Wasn't necessarily a fan of that. Definitely have to allow myself to give inks and pen combinations a second try before I decide that I don't want to use it anymore. So here we go. TWSBI Eco in the cream, fine nib, inked with Diamine Dusted Truffle. Next, I have a carryover from last month. This is my Walltown pen, the Onslow model, and this is the Augusta Theater. I just was really what? Anyway, that's the dog. I was really in love with this pen, and I was really digging the ink combination. So this is actually a carryover because I decided that I wanted to continue to use it. And this has Diatramentis khaki in it. I feel really weird with the camera being this close. I really do. But I definitely want to focus more on the inks this time. I just been looking at my videos. I'm like, I just feel like this should be a little bit closer. So this is my Walltown pen in Augusta Theater. And this is inked with Diatramentis khaki. I was so impressed with this pen ink combination last month. I just couldn't help but to, let's get you in frame here, but to continue on this month. Because I did refill it last month, so I was like, I just want to continue to use it. So yeah, there we go for this month. The next pen is my Pilot Custom 823. This is the demonstrator in clear with the black finials. And I just got this one in last month. This is my first time inking it. And I have decided to ink this with Venta Ochre 1797. As you can tell, we're all in the browns this month. So yeah, you guys let me know if this is a little too close. As far as like the angle of the camera, if it seems okay to you guys, just let me know. It's a little different for me, but the point is I want you to be able to enjoy the color of the ink and the writing sample as if you're sitting here looking at it with me. This is my Pilot Custom 823. This is in a fine nib, and this is the clear demonstrator. And I have this inked with Venta Ochre. I've never spoken French, so is it ochre? Ochre, I don't know. So please forgive me for not pronouncing that properly. I definitely love the ability to be able to see this brown ink through this pen. And this is such a classy pen. I really, really like it. Next is the, excuse me, Platinum Century 3776. This is in a fine nib. Get that to focus sometime today. There we go. And I have this inked with Octopus Write and Draw in Brown Penguin. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on a second. We got to do the swatch first. Squatch, that's funny. I know this has always been a fairly thick ink, so I'm very interested in how it's going to behave in this pen with a finer nib. So I'm really excited to check this out. Surprisingly, for this particular pen, I am able to post it. Oops, got a little water on the page there. This is the Platinum 3776. This is in a fine nib. And I have this inked with Octopus and Brown Penguin. I think I've said this before, that this particular ink reminds me a lot of Sakushi, one of my favorite inks. And so yeah, finding a quote-unquote dupe for that was really exciting for me. And I cannot wait to continue to see how this writes and how this pairing is. Next is another carryover from last month. This is the Pelikan M800 in brown black. It has an extra fine nib. Love this pen and could not get enough of it last month, so I decided to carry it over. And this is inked with Ferris Wheel Press Steeped Umber. I tell y'all, this dog was going to be the death of me. I'm telling you, I love him to death. But he never, ever makes noise until I'm either on the phone for work or filming a video or something to that effect. But you gotta love him. So yeah, okay. This is the Pelikan. This is juicy. M800 and brown black. It is my only M800, so I don't necessarily have to put the actual colorway, but hopefully that'll change in the near future, I hope. And this is inked with Ferris Wheel Press Steeped Umber. And I've always felt that the nib, for this to be an extra fine nib, it does not write like an extra fine nib. It does not. It's more like between a Western, it's almost like a Western fine to medium, I guess, probably leaning more towards the medium side for this size, for this particular pen. But yeah, so this is the Pelikan M800 with Ferris wheel press steeped umber. And lastly is the Edison Pen Co. This is the Brooks model, and the color is Elvenwood. This has a fine nib, but it was tuned to be a wet fine. I've always enjoyed that pen, but I definitely wanted to see how it would do with this particular ink that I've only used a few times. This is Monteverde Scotch Brown. And this is the darkest brown that I am using today. So man, I love me some brown inks. All right, here we have the Edison Pen Co. This is the Brooks model, and it is a fine nib. And I have this inked with Monteverde Scotch Brown. And there we go. So let's let these dry and we will come back and take a look at them. And I'm back, so let's just go over these one more time. The first pen I have here is the Esterbrook SD, and the tortoise, and it is inked with Ferris wheel press Oyster Hour. Next is my TWSBI Eco. This is the cream. It's a fine nib, and it is inked with Diamine Dusted Truffle. I did notice that sometimes I say Diamine, sometimes I say Diamine, and I think it's because I don't know which one is correct. But right here. Now I have the Walltown pen in Augusta Theater. It is inked with Diatramentus Khaki. The Pilot Custom 823 Demonstrator inked with Venta Ochre 1797. The Platinum Century 3776 in a fine nib. It is inked with Octopus Inks in Brown Penguin. The Pelikan M800 in the brown black inked with Steeped Umber. Ferris wheel press Steeped Umber. And last but not least, the Edison Pen Co. Brooks model, and this is inked with Monteverde Scotch Brown. And that's all of them. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't forget to leave them below. And I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and talk to you guys later. Bye.